Earlier this year, Mark Zuckerberg laid off 8,000 people. Another 7,000 were quietly reshuffled into AI departments, which, if you're keeping score, is corporate speak for you still have a job, but don't get too comfortable. But then, just a few months later, the Meta boss looks directly into a camera during a live stream and says, AI will not replace human workers. It's not inevitable. Wait, what? Your own company memo literally disagrees with you. This is the single biggest contradiction in tech right now. The very billionaires building these machines are publicly telling us everything is fine, while their actual corporate behavior suggests they want to automate everything. But behind closed doors, a very different confession is happening. In a private town hall, Zuckerberg admitted to his employees that their AI agents have not progressed nearly as fast as he expected, and the layoffs were incredibly messy. Meta's chief technology officer even called the rollout of their new AI division atrocious. And Meta isn't alone. We're officially in the middle of the AI hype hangover. Sam Altman said agents aren't reliable yet. Satya Nadella said Copilot still needs a human babysitter. Dario Amodei said AI still hallucinates too much to be trusted in high-stakes rooms. Every single company trying to sell you the AI revolution is quietly admitting that the technology is too buggy, too unreliable, and too risky to be left alone. But there's an even bigger, darker secret they aren't telling you. The AI job apocalypse hasn't happened yet, not because companies suddenly started caring about human workers, but because running advanced AI is shockingly ruinously expensive. Today we're going to look at the invisible billing crisis that is blowing up corporate budgets, why companies are quietly hiring humans back, and what the real data says about who is actually losing their jobs. For the last 2 years, companies have been rushing to fire people, banking on a highly automated future that simply hasn't arrived yet. And now they're hitting a wall of reality. Take the car giant Ford. They aggressively rolled out an advanced AI system to handle their factory quality control. But the software kept missing obvious errors. After months of frustration, Ford had to quietly backpedal and hire back 350 human engineers to fix the machine's mistakes. The Commonwealth Bank of Australia and tech giant IBM have also quietly walked back their aggressive AI hiring freezes to refocus on human talent. Why is this happening? Because we have confused what a technology can do and how a business actually works. An AI model can write a stunning line of code, draft a memo, or summarize a meeting in 3 seconds. That is incredibly impressive. But actually deploying that AI across a company of 10,000 employees is a logistical nightmare. You have to redesign entire workflows, train staff, change software permissions, and above all, have absolute confidence that the AI won't confidently make up false statistics halfway through a multi-million-dollar project. A computer program can change in a weekend, but a human organization takes years to figure out a new way of working. And that delay is costing these companies a fortune because of one tiny invisible word: tokens. If you want to understand why AI is breaking corporate budgets, you have to understand how an AI thinks. AI models do not see words the way we do. They break language down into tiny slices called tokens. One token is roughly equal to 3/4 of a single word. Whether you're asking an AI to write a line of code, analyze an Excel sheet, or generate a picture, everything is translated into math measured in tokens. And there are two sides to this transaction: input tokens, the words you type in, and output tokens, the words, code, or images the AI sends back to you. Now you might be thinking, wait, I use ChatGPT every day for $20 a month. How is that expensive? Because you're being subsidized. Tech giants are deliberately running consumer subscriptions as loss leaders. They are losing money on your basic daily prompts because they want you to get hooked on the technology. But for businesses, there is no flat rate. They have to pay to play. If a company wants to use an AI to crunch their customer database, write software, or run medical research, they are charged per token. And at scale, those token counts become astronomical. There is a massive gap in how much these tokens cost. If you want a basic model to do a simple task, it's cheap, costing about 20 to 30 cents per million tokens. But if you want a top-tier model that can mimic human reasoning, write flawless code, or handle complex science, the price skyrockets to $300 or $400 per million tokens. And here's where it gets crazy. The smarter the model, the more it has to hold in its head at one time. This is called its context window. If you feed an AI an entire software project or a massive folder of customer data, it consumes millions of tokens just to read your prompt. Then when it writes a massive complex answer back, it burns millions more. The irony is that the people who blew through these corporate budgets were the company's own IT and coding departments. They are the tech experts. Yet, they had absolutely no idea how quickly their complex coding queries were burning through tokens. Suddenly, companies were getting shocking bills they never planned for. To stop the bleeding, corporate America is putting their employees on a strict AI diet. Instead of letting everyone use the smartest, most expensive models, they are using smart routing tools like OpenRouter to filter their work. If an employee asks a simple question, the system automatically sends it to a dirt cheap basic model. Only the rarest, most complex tasks are sent to the expensive top-tier AI. In fact, Bloomberg's index tracking AI token prices recently dropped from $2 per million tokens down to $1.65. Why? because businesses are refusing to pay top dollar for advanced AI. The industry built a massive investment model on the assumption that everyone would be using high-end expensive AI for everything. But in reality, companies are running 90% of their work on the cheapest basic models because they simply cannot afford the bill. So if the companies are backpedaling, hiring humans back, and cutting their AI budgets, does that mean your job is completely safe? Well, yes and no. Let's look at what the actual economic data says. Researchers at Yale's Budget Lab recently studied employment trends across the United States since ChatGPT launched in late 2022. Their conclusion? There's been no statistically significant economy-wide job market disruption. Another study by the Cambridge Center found that while 81% of companies have adopted AI in some minor way, only 14% have actually changed their core business strategy around it.
Cambridge research published this year found that 81% of financial services firms are adopting AI at some level, but only 14% consider it truly transformational.
Most companies are just using it to write emails faster, not to replace departments. But there's one massive alarming exception. Economists at the Dallas Federal Reserve looked closer and found a quiet crisis. Young workers, specifically those between the ages 22 and 25 in desk jobs exposed to AI, saw a 13% drop in employment. Think about why this is happening. An advanced AI cannot replace a senior manager or an experienced software engineer because those people have the context, judgment, and experience to babysit the AI and fix its mistakes. But an AI can easily handle basic entry-level tasks like writing simple summaries, organizing spreadsheets, or drafting basic emails. So companies aren't having massive waves of layoffs. Instead, they're just locking the front door. They're choosing not to hire the next generation of graduates because the cheap, basic models can do the grunt work. The ladder is being pulled up. If history teaches us anything, it's that major technological shifts rarely happen overnight. When electricity was invented, it didn't instantly delete factories, it redesigned how they were built. When the internet arrived, it didn't destroy offices, it transformed how we communicate. AI is going to follow that exact same path. The doom and gloom crowd who says AI will take every job tomorrow is wrong. But the people who say AI is just a passing fad are also wrong. The future won't belong to machines alone, and it won't belong to humans who refuse to touch technology. It will belong to the people who figure out how to make both work together. The ones who know how to use the cheap, basic tools to automate the boring stuff, but retain the human judgment, ethics, and care to run the actual business. Because at the end of the day, AI might be accelerating at breakneck speed, but it's one thing to tell the world a machine is going to replace you, and it's a completely different thing to explain to your board of directors that you had to hire the humans back. If you want to understand how this corporate hype cycle almost broke the entire AI industry, check out our previous video on the sudden government ban of Claude 5. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more engaging content like this. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.